represent Earthrealm and fight in the next round of Mortal Kombat. And if you refuse, then you'll have to get over here.
Hi, I'm Newageretrosteven,
And I'm Glitch Blitch.
and we are everyone like that. Your daily, regular dose of what makes gaming great. I'm surprised I screwed that up and not the intro, but we're gonna roll with
That's
it.
okay.
So, hello everybody. Got a lot to talk about. A lot of things that we just saw or playing. A lot of announcements recently. Obviously, you guys could tell by my background in my Mario shirt that obviously I want to talk about the Mortal Kombat movie. Right after we finished wrapping filming last week, I mentioned that I was going to go see Mortal Kombat, and I just went straight to the movie theaters. And there was already a showing that was about to play, so I just went straight there. Got my usual popcorn, got my usual glizzy, and I sat back and I really enjoyed the movie a heckin' lot. So Glitch, you've seen the first reboot of Mortal Kombat, right? Came
No.
out like 2020, like COVID-ish. You have not.
No.
I thought you have.
No,
Wow.
I wanted to, but then I found out that Hiroyuki Sanada was only in like the first few minutes, and then I was like, I'm not gonna watch it now. Because I'm in
Okay.
love with him. He's my boyfriend.
Well, and then anything going on with video game movies related news, I'm going to be covering a lot of it this year. I'm trying to catch as many video game movies, but I do have to chime in. I did see that Mortal Kombat reboot movie when it came out. I believe it was around like lockdown time, and so I was not a fan, but I was not a hater. I saw the movie. I didn't like it. I didn't dislike it. It was just a watch for me. I watched it. I said, okay, well, there's some parts I liked. I really like Kano in it. That he was funny, but I was just like, you know what, this movie doesn't really interest me. But if they were to do a second, I'd watch it because I'm just like, okay, it's not offensive in any way. It just is what it is. And so this is the second one. It's Mortal Kombat 2, which is basically a remake of Mortal Kombat Annihilation, which doesn't always hold up well, but I can firmly say I thoroughly enjoyed Mortal Kombat 2. I think it was a great popcorn movie. I enjoyed it a lot more than the first reboot, and yeah, it takes about a good 30 minutes to really establish itself. It's the same story, Carl Urban got introduced as Johnny Cage. He's definitely playing an older Johnny Cage who's kind of past his prime. Um, and it was an interesting choice for Carl Urban to play Johnny Cage because I like Carl Urban a lot. I
Mm-hmm.
like The Boys. I like everything that he's in. Um, but it was a little kind of a weird choice. He still did fine. Sometimes his accent did kind of slip in. I'm just like, hold on.
Yeah.
That's not. I'm starting to sound a little more like Carl Urban, but I think the movie was great. It took about 30 minutes to establish itself, and then it really just jumped straight into the meat and potatoes. Because obviously, Shao Kahn is trying to take over, the realms. He wants to take over Earth Realm, and you know, uh, all these fighters get selected to fight in Mortal Kombat, and obviously, you're going to see a lot of characters from the first movie that are ones that are chosen. Um, and you also see a lot of new characters too. And I think they were all great. I think the fights were fantastic. I think. Can you hear that? My cat
Oh, I
is
thought that
yelling
was
at
my
me.
cat. I was worried. I was like, oh,
Give us
yeah.
just a moment. Uh,
She has something to say about Mortal Kombat.
I believe we're back. I believe we're back. Are we back? It's not up
I
to me. It's
never
up to the
left.
cat. Okay. But as I was saying, each fight is really cool because you're pitting two characters against each other, and the fights are really cool. The art style behind it is really cool. They actually recreate some of the stages.
Oh, that's cool.
Um, yeah, and like they incorporate some stuff from the game into like what works for a movie. So unfortunately, I did not see it in IMAX, but apparently, if you saw the movie in IMAX, there is one fight in particular where there's like these steel beams hanging from the ceiling, and they're supposed to represent health bars. And I guess
Oh,
like once the one fighter is like up, we'll be right back. We're good. She just beat the heck out of me.
mm-hmm.
She
Mortal
scratched me.
Kombat.
She beat me up. Mortal Kombat. That was Steven versus Patches, and Patches won.
Yeah.
So she's out celebrating. She's eating some tuna. Um, okay, well, I am back, and apparently what I was saying is that the steel beams are supposed to like represent like health bars. But even then, there were some really cool aspects of the way that they made the stages work. So it very much you're obviously watching a Mortal Kombat movie. Like they're setting up the stages just as you would see if it was like inside, like an actual game. They're even doing the stances. If one person's about to be fatality, they're like woozing around just like that. So I think the movie did a brilliant job of doing exactly what it needed to without overstepping or understepping. Like there's a lot of cheese factor in the movie, but it's not overly cheesy. And there's times where it does take itself seriously, and it doesn't take itself too seriously. It's like just the right balance. And honestly, I just feel like well, um, they do go pretty crazy with the fatalities. I think they
Oh.
go like Final Destination level when it comes to the deaths,
Oh
because the
wow.
deaths are very, very creative, very gory, and just like wow. And They also take some risks. There's some characters I did not want to see die, like at all,
So
and
they
there's some
killed off
characters that I
people.
was they killed off. They
Oh.
they they kill off people, and some of them are going to be pretty tough. I'm not going to say who, but some of them are pretty tough, and others were even just like, wow, they really killed that character. Like, wow.
Hmm.
Um, but that's why I kind of respect it. Is that like there's a lot of unexpected. It knows exactly what it's doing. There's going to be some times where there's going to be like some continuity errors. I remember there's one scene in particular where they are like, okay, gang, split up. We're going to go find this, like a Scooby Doo kind of thing, and then
Hmm.
10 seconds later they already find it, and it's like okay, and then everybody else is nowhere to be seen. It was a little odd, but even then, if you can look past stuff like that, it's a great popcorn movie. I enjoyed it a lot, and I really thought that this was going to be a Johnny Cage centered movie, which it kind of is.
Yeah.
But each character has been given the same amount of screen time, like equally. Like you really follow each character on their own, especially when they're going up against another character. And you're seeing a lot about Raiden. You're seeing a lot about Sonya Blade, Jax, and all them. And it was actually
Scorpion.
really nice.
I hope.
Not as much as I wanted.
Ugh.
Not as much as I wanted.
Okay.
Which is still another criticism that I had of the first movies. You wanted more Scorpion. Yes,
Hmm.
we got more Scorpion in this one, but you didn't get much more. Um, but I just think it was a very fun movie, very gory when it needed to be, and they ended the movie in a way that could very much just be the end of that, or they could continue. And I just got to say, if they do a third movie, I'm here for it. I enjoyed the second movie so much that a third movie, like, hey, I'm gonna buy it day one. But yeah, no, I very much enjoyed the movie. I think unfortunately you are gonna have to watch the first movie in order to really get what's going on in this movie.
Hmm.
But even then, I feel like most like that movie more than I do anyway. So it could just me being a hater. Even though I don't hate it, I just didn't really wasn't my cup of tea. But even then, yeah, really good movie. I don't know what to rate it. I don't know how I'll be rating these movies. If I want to do like a ABC grade or like a
I think
7.8
just
out of
like
10, too
I
much
like
water.
that. I hated that.
Yeah.
Like I love that. I think just do
Oh, it
that.
sounds like you're going to the Cold Stone Creamery. Like it, love it, gotta have it.
I'm not
Oh,
familiar with that.
sorry. Maybe that's not in
I was
Canada.
thinking more
Okay.
Fallout.
Oh, true,
Yeah.
true. But yeah, no, I really like the movie. I'd even say I almost love the movie, and yeah, very much recommend. And but we're gonna dial back to Mortal Kombat a little bit later on in this recording.
Hmm.
A couple other things we wanted to talk about. My name is Steven. Don't call me Steve. But if your name is James, do you always want to be called Jim? Hmm? You want to inform the viewers a little bit about that one?
Yeah, so there was a PC Gamer review recently that was a little strange, kind of had like Mouse PI vibes, but like, a little bit more. I hate cringe. I hate that word, but it was kind of cringe. Like
It was
it was such a weird take. Like maybe there shouldn't be James Bond in James Bond games, which I feel like that doesn't really make sense, but yeah, or sorry, Jim Bond.
Jim Bond.
But yeah, I don't know. I feel like yeah, these journalists, like, that seemed very self-indulgent. I feel like any good editor should have seen that and been like, maybe take another stab at that. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know. What did you think of it?
So the review is basically an earlier review for the new James Bond First Light, I believe it's called.
Yeah.
Um, we've had our eyes on it. We've had differing opinions on it. I want to see it do good. I want to see, Lenny Kravitz is playing one of the villains, which is really cool.
Hmm.
So I want to see this game do well. But you know, the conversation has been had lately that the only really good standout James Bond game is like GoldenEye. And
GoldenEye.
if you
Yeah.
think about it, there's been a lot of James Bond games. Like there's like a Quantum of Solace game for like the PS3, but
Hmm.
everybody regards GoldenEye in such high regards, but people don't realize there's a lot of other James Bond games that were kind of flops. Now,
Hmm.
this PC Gamer article, like you said, made the takes of like, oh, well, what if we have James Bond game without James Bond? It's like what?
It's
They
just
call him
Hitman.
Jim Bond. And I'm
Yeah.
just like, why are you calling him Jim Bond? Like,
Hmm.
Jim Bond to me sounds like, some like dog detective, straight to video VHS movie, like, I'm Bond, Jim Bond, I'm a detective, I'm named after my Uncle James. And then that's the one joke. And then you just get like
Yeah.
some shitty, straight to video, like Jim Bond the dog, or I don't freaking know,
Or
man.
like a medication.
Medication?
Yeah, like Jim Bond. Put it on your skin and I don't know. Just
Got
I don't
some
know. I'm
publicists, put
thinking
some
Gold
Jim Bond
Bond.
on that.
The what?
Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I don't know.
You heard of
Put
Gold
some
Bond, not
Jim
good enough for
Bond on
Jim
it.
Bond. Oh my gosh.
But yeah,
But
like pretty much like what I took from it was that like he didn't think he was a cool guy, so he feels weird playing a game about a cool guy. And when the cool guy wasn't cool, it took him out of the game. Like, oh, when I sucked at the game and I knocked something over, I was like, James Bond wouldn't do that. And it took me out of the game. And I was like, what? It's a video game, bro. Like, I don't freak out when Kratos falls down and hurts himself. Like, yeah, I don't know. It's just so strange. Like,
take.
the game's not just for you, you know? Like other people are going to play this and it would be weird if James Bond wasn't cool. That's not James Bond anymore, you know? And he
Yeah.
didn't like the little jokes that he made, but like that's like every movie ever. They make like dumb jokes when they kill people or do something, you know? Like it's entertainment. Like what do you want him to
Yeah.
do? Like I don't know. It's just so strange.
Again, and we have time. The game is not out yet. It comes out soon. This is just an
Mhm.
early review. So it turns out maybe the game is just overly wacky and is not great. It was just a weird review to be put out. And, we'll see when the game actually comes out. I really just want to see how this game turns out because
Yeah.
there's a lot of, I don't want to even say there's hype in it. There's a lot of like people kind of waiting to be disappointed by it. But again, it's a different take. It's James Bond when he's just starting out. The game could be great. The game could suck. We really just won't know until people start playing the game.
Mhm.
Um, but that being said, did you have any more comments on Mr. Jimmy
I feel
Bonzo?
like if he was gonna go that weird route, the only like thing that he could say about the game that I'd be like, okay, is like, oh, Lenny Kravitz is in the game and it took me out of the immersion to like see Lenny Kravitz. But like, he wants James Bond not in the game, but Lenny Kravitz is cool. Like, I don't know. It was just so weird.
Let's have a
Like,
James Bond game where there's no James Bond, but Lenny Kravitz is in it. Like,
yeah, yeah. I don't know.
it's just odd. I do love Lenny Kravitz, though. I think he would play an excellent villain.
Hmm.
We live in a day where we could say that Lenny Kravitz is the next Bond villain. That's
Yeah,
sick. I
that's
like
cool.
that.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't
Everyone
mind
like
that.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone here at least. But
But
yeah, I don't
that being
know. I feel like it's just endemic of like the fact that negative articles like get all the clicks. Like it's
yeah,
I feel like they're just saying like what weird thing can we do this week to get people talking about us? Like, I don't know. It doesn't really feel like journalism anymore. Like it's just like,
yeah,
getting clicks and clickbait and I don't know. I don't really like it. Like I like video games already aren't like taken as seriously as they should be, and video game journalism especially. And I feel like they're just like making it worse by having weird articles about what was it again? Ludonarrative dissonance and Jim
Oh
Bond.
yeah,
Like, I don't know. I feel
mouse
like they need to
PI.
get their shit together. Stop embarrassing us.
I agree. I
But
just think,
yeah.
the whole journalism and inside of video games has not been great. And it's
Yeah.
not that it needs to be bad. It's just we're just not seeing great articles and journalists like that. They're kind of spoiling the reputation for themselves. I mean,
Mhm.
Mouse PI was already pretty bad, and that was one of the worst reviews ever. And this whole Jim Bond again. Turns out maybe we're wrong. Maybe in the game they actually refer to him as Jim Bond. So maybe this guy's fine. Maybe
Yeah.
it's just an inside joke. Who knows?
Maybe.
But that being said, we're also seeing something pretty cool in regards to the GTA 6.
Mhm.
So they are not sending out early copies of GTA 6 to reviewers. And then Glitch, you made a good point that a lot of times when they send these early copies, they're not actually technically the final copies of the game, right? They could be like
Yeah.
buggy.
I was gonna say, I feel like they shouldn't do that anyways, because a lot of video game reviews are based on the review copy, and any bugginess or things that would get patched out on release anyways. It gets mentioned in the article, and I feel
Yeah,
like most of the time they don't go back and update it after. And nowadays too, video game companies, they quite often get a bonus based on the Metacritic score. So I feel like it's really important, like, to not have silly things like that in the reviews. It might like hurt the developers later on with their bonuses. Like, and it makes people not buy the game too, to be like, oh, the frame rate's dropped like crazy, but I am playing a review copy, so maybe they'll get patched out. But like, people read those
yeah,
articles and then they're like, maybe I won't buy this game because it sounds like the performance is bad, when on day one for everybody else it's totally fine because they patched it you know and
yeah.
plus,
And I think
personally, I hate that all the streamers get to play the games like a week beforehand and like spoil everything for everybody before we
yeah.
even play the games. So, yeah, I don't know. I think it's a good thing, and I hope that that continues. So, yeah.
Well, and what they're specifically doing is that they are letting people play the game early. However, they have to go to Rockstar, I believe. They have to be
Mhm.
selected, and not only that, they have to play it in a room with like no phone, that they can't
Yeah.
record anything, and then they're like being strictly monitored while they play it, which I know sounds pretty harsh, but no, it's actually kind of needed, especially for a
Mhm.
big franchise like GTA, where we've already seen a lot of leaks. We've
Yeah.
seen,
Even
leaks
when
of the
a couple
beta.
months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I can see why Rockstar is doing that, especially because it's going to be a huge hitter. A lot of people are really looking forward to this game. This is going to be a huge investment. Um, the most expensive piece of media put out, so of course they're going to be super
Mhm.
protective of it. So it sounds really harsh, but it's kind of needed, especially for a
Yeah.
game this big. Um, and then maybe we're seeing a lot of leaks as of recently. I wanted to mention that it was leaked that a new Star Fox game was coming out in the big Nate the Hate leaks, and that guy has had a track record of accurate leaks and stuff to look forward to. Now, one thing that we kind of forgot to mention is that if the leaks that Nate the Hate are putting out are accurate, then that means we are most likely seeing a rebuild from the ground up of Ocarina of Time. That is currently
Mhm.
the biggest, quote unquote leak of what's to be released. And then there's former Nintendo employees saying that this is one of the worst things that happened to Nintendo for this leak to be out. But it's also like, why would you say it's the worst thing for Nintendo when it's not even confirmed? Like, are we actually getting an Ocarina of Time remake? I
Yeah,
mean,
if anything, the stocks might go up. I feel like it's not that bad for Nintendo. you know?
but obviously they'd want to, they wouldn't want to leak. They'd want to be the ones
Yeah.
announcing it.
Mhm.
Now, obviously, we've already talked about the new Star Fox game on this channel, and if you think about it, they remade Star Fox 64 before, and even with Star Fox 64 3D, and then now we're seeing a complete remake of it again from the ground up, which means
Mhm.
it's not unlike Nintendo they've also remade Ocarina of Time 3D, and if they want to rebuild it from the ground up, I think that's fantastic. and I'd probably play it and enjoy it. But
Mhm.
Ocarina of Time is just one of those games that you just don't really want to touch. Like, it was a little risky to kind of redo it in 3D, but it worked. The
Yeah.
graphics were amazing. The gyro controls were great. Um, so just seeing a remake just from the ground up, like, yeah, it'll work. We're already seeing a new Zelda movie coming out within a year. And again, it's a nice game to reintroduce to kids. I mean, if you think about it, Ocarina of Time was introduced to me on the Wii because I never had an N64 growing up as a kid. So when they released Ocarina of Time for the Wii Virtual Console, that was my generation to start playing it.
Oh, I didn't
So
even
I
know they
think,
did that.
yeah. They released most of their big N64 games, SNES games, NES games were released on the Wii
Mhm.
Virtual Console. That's how I experienced a lot of them. But that being said, I don't think, as perfect as the game of Ocarina of Time is, I don't think it'll be too devastating if they make a ground up remake.
Mhm.
Obviously, the ground up remake for Star Fox looks great. And we'll see where that goes. But it's very interesting. Well, we're probably going to see a lot of announcements this summer.
Mhm.
Um, well, they just announced the state of play. That's June
Yep.
2nd.
Yeah, June 2nd at 2 p.m. PT. Was that Pacific time? Yeah,
Yes.
okay. I know stuff. I'm Eastern,
Yeah.
so so yeah, and they're gonna showcase a bunch of stuff from the Wolverine game, so I'm very excited about that.
Sick.
I think that's coming
Sick.
September 15th.
That
So
wait,
yeah.
that's soon.
Yeah, I think they're trying to get it out before GTA comes out.
Oh,
So yeah.
smart.
So yeah, that'll
Yeah.
be really cool. I'm looking forward to that. It's gonna be they said 60 minutes, but apparently now they're saying 90 minutes. So that'll be cool. And they're doing it in a theater. So I guess it's gonna
Oh,
be more
sick.
like what's the big one
E3,
called again? Yeah,
like
yeah, kind of
E3,
like
which is now
E3.
Summer
Yeah.
Games Fest. Yeah.
That's the one I'm looking for. Thank you. I can't keep that in my brain
Rest
for
in
some
peace,
reason.
E3.
But yeah, apparently they might be doing that more often now, like having it like in the theater. So I'm excited about that. Just especially like now that E3 is gone, like I feel like we need more fancy video game events.
Well,
So
the
yeah.
Summer Games Fest replaced E3 like right
Yeah.
away.
Hmm.
Um, which is basically the current E3, to the Jeff Keighley E3. But yeah, so that's actually very exciting.
Oh,
They
and
had a
the
state of play.
Bethesda Xbox One is coming up also. I don't
Oh,
remember
when's that?
exactly when, but there's some murmurings. Some people think that they're gonna suddenly drop Elder Scrolls 6, but I don't think so.
No,
Yeah, I don't think
I
so.
highly doubt it.
Yeah,
Well, they
pretty
already
sure that's
did
not
like
happening.
8 years ago.
Yeah, well, I mean, like they're saying it's gonna be like Oblivion, that they're gonna be like, hey, look, there's Elder Scrolls 6, and by the way, it's out now, and I'm like, I don't think so.
I doubt it.
Because Todd Howard likes to do that. He's like, if I could just announce the game like the day before it comes out, I'd do that. But I don't know. I feel like people are getting a little tired of Todd Howard's antics.
I think people
So yeah,
have been tired of Todd Howard's antics.
yeah, like ugh. Every time he shows up at a video game like showcase, I'm always like, ugh. He's
Talking a
definitely not
little fun.
showing. Yeah, it used to make me excited, but now I'm just like, oh, what are you doing now, Todd Howard? Jeez, get off stage.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So then these are probably all Summer Games Fest things then, because it's never attached to like one big day or anything. It's usually like
hmm
scattered announcements throughout Summer Games Fest. And we'll see indie games and all that. So maybe the state of play is technically the start of the Summer Games Fest, or maybe they'll transition from state of play into the Summer Games Fest and actually start showing off the games.
hmm
Um, no word from Nintendo yet. However, they did just announce that they're actually going to be dialing back the amount of Nintendo Directs. They're not getting rid of it, but they're opting to deliver more Nintendo news on the Nintendo Today app. So
oh,
interesting.
hmm
I love Nintendo Directs. I just think
yeah.
they're always an event, even if they're like an indie direct. But we'll see. Again, most of these announcements come out in June, so we're expecting a lot this upcoming month. It's not quite June yet, but when it comes, we're gonna see a lot. So
They better announce when
exciting.
Control's coming out soon, because I'm gonna lose my mind. They keep just saying coming 2026, and I'm like, 2026 is almost over.
Almost halfway there.
Yeah, like they if they do like oh it's out after the show, I'm gonna freak out. I'm gonna be so mad. But
That
yeah.
would be pretty annoying.
The what?
That would be pretty annoying.
Yeah, only because like I need to like actually make sure I have the money for it, and I also wanna pre-order like a cool edition. Like sometimes like for Alan Wake and Control, they had some really cool collector's editions, but I missed out on them because I hadn't really gotten into the series yet. But they're so cool. So I really need no
Nice.
Deer Diner thermos. Like, oh my goodness, I want one so bad. Oops.
Then
So
yeah, so lots to see. I do want to talk about what's going to get us canceled. Oh no.
uh-oh.
We're going to be taken down for having the opinions that we have on this
Oh
next game.
yes. Mm.
Oh no. Let's get ready. Get your tomatoes ready at home. You can throw them at us, but you're just going to
Mm-hmm.
have to clean your computer screen. We're talking about mixtape again.
Yeah.
We're talking about mixtape. So, as promised, I finished mixtape before we recorded the podcast.
And I
Glitch
watched
actually
some of
watched me.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, probably like the last half. You watched probably like the second half of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what, guys? The game's actually all right.
Yeah.
It's fun. It was nice. I
Mm-hmm.
enjoyed it. Um, and I know we talked about, the oh no, I see you at home. Don't click exit. Don't click exit.
Get over here!
Okay. Thank you for giving us just let's just talk about it as adults.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So basically, the game is different. It's more of a narrative, and you're kind of walking around, checking things out. You're trying to get your mixtape together, and it's a group of kids. They're about to go off to college or just start their young adult careers, and I think the game does a great job of capturing that transitioning feeling of like back when
Mm-hmm.
you're about to graduate high school. A lot of people want to go party. A lot of people want to start careers. A lot of people know they're not going to see each other probably ever, which is a very real thing. And I think they did a really good job of doing that. Now, is this game for everybody? No. If you don't enjoy games that are just there to tell a narrative and be kind of cool and funky, then it's fine. You can't. If you're also the kind of gamer that just wants to play Call of Duty or Fortnite 24/7, that's also fine too. Like, we all enjoy games are a medium, and
Mm-hmm.
games are a medium to tell a story. And that's exactly what it's using. It's using the game medium to tell a story, and that's what it's doing. Now, and I agree. I agree with the whole is the game a Nepo baby game? Yeah, it is. Um, did they just throw a lot of money at this game? Yeah, they did. But they also still created a very good creative game. They made a very, a game that I very much enjoyed. It was visually stunning when it needed to be. And of course, it's animated on twos. So I can
Mm-hmm.
see how that might not appeal to some people because it's animated on twos. And that's fine. Like if the game is not for you, the game is not for you. I will still say that the game is way overly hated. I think people just want something to hate on right now. This is an easy
Mm-hmm.
target. But if you're just able to see past that, like not even give into that, just if this is your kind of game, this is your kind of game. It's short and sweet, and it just tells a good story. And just the hate is ridiculous. Just don't give into it. Form
Yeah.
your own opinions, and that's it. But I enjoyed the game a lot, and I like it.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of really angry videos about how it's not an indie game and that like they're mad that like billionaires are throwing money at video games. But like, sure, valid, but like then you should also be mad about stockholders and like big companies throwing money at video games too. Like Rockstar has a
Exactly.
shit ton of money thrown at the new GTA game. Why aren't we mad about that? Like I don't really understand. Like, and then too, like, rewinding a little bit in time here, a lot of people got really mad that Claire Obscure had placeholder assets that were AI generated, which is a feature of Epic, the engine from Epic that they used, or Unreal. I can't remember which one they used, but it's a feature
Unrealistic.
inside the program that you can have like placeholder graphics, and it does it within the program. So it's not like they went out and did it themselves. It was just like I want a poster here, and so the engine was like, here's a poster, and then they took it out later. But like, why aren't we getting mad that Bethesda used AI for Starfield. Like, why are we getting mad that an indie company did one little thing that is part of the engine, but we're not getting mad at
Yeah,
big developers for using AI? Like, it's kind of ridiculous. Like, I feel like they're just getting mad, like, because it's an indie game, well, or not an indie game or whatever, but
yeah,
the guy I watched, he was like really angry, and like, this isn't an indie game. How dare they? And they just threw money at this game, and they have the licenses for the songs in perpetuity, which means it's not an indie game because that's expensive. But like what do you want from these people? Like, I don't know.
exactly.
Like, it was a really good game, and the music is a big part of it, so, like, why wouldn't and, like, licensing music isn't always expensive, like, depending on the people that whose music you're licensing, but, like, I was watching you play it, and she literally says, like, "This is this song by this person, and this is why it's important," so I can see why they would have put the money into that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, like, it's just so strange how people react to stuff, and then they get mad at indie companies for doing something, but then they're like, at the altar of capitalism for other big companies. Like, I don't know. It's so weird to me. And again, it's all just like clickbait, angry articles, like I don't know. And then people get angry and they leave comments, which is good for engagement, which I'm sure, like, I'm sure if I did that, more people would watch me, but I don't want to do that. you know?
So if you really hate us and our take on this, make sure to leave a very
Yeah,
hateful
leave a
comment.
comment. Yeah.
Yeah,
Let us know exactly why you hate us.
yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's just it's not a game that I can get mad at. Like, yeah, again, like I said, we're looking at everything around the pancake rather than the actual pancake. And I feel
Mhm.
like it would have really benefited this game if it just went largely unnoticed. I almost feel
Yeah.
like, because then people would just enjoy it for what it is. Again, I'm not trying to discredit the criticism. I think the criticism is very much correct when it comes to this is not an indie game and a lot of money
Yeah.
was thrown at it.
Mhm.
That's completely fair. That like I think the same exact thing. I just can't get mad over this game. I think it was still a creative project. I still, was a good story. Made you feel for the characters and all that. But it was just a one-off kind of game.
Mhm.
Um, but and like again, I've always fantasized of like, what if I win the lottery and get to make a game? Well, I'd like to do something like that. I'd like to
Yeah.
do something small and creative. I personally, as a born and raised marching band kid, if I were to ever like get like win the lottery, Powerball, Mega Millions, whatever, and like I have the opportunity to make a game, I would do it. But I would also, and again, I'm not telling the not indie developers to do what they should. But like I also feel like if I were to do that, I would also like to highlight, other groups, teams, like make sure whoever works on the game is paid well.
Mhm.
And I would like to have like a game that maybe it's also like a high school coming of age game, but it takes place with like like people in marching band, and then maybe even use some of like the proceeds or any profits to donate to like local schools and like music charities and all that. I feel like that's what I would want to do. So like I get why they would make this. Again, I'm not going to be over here like, oh, how much did you donate today? Nothing. Evil, evil, evil. No, that's
Yeah.
it's just that's just who I am. It's just I just think it's massively overhated. I did initially say that the game was overhyped. I still don't think it's quite the 9 or 10 out of 10 across the board, but I
Yeah,
still think
the
it's also
ratings
a
are
really
weird,
yeah.
but yeah, I agree with you though.
I also still think it's a solid game. I would give this a solid 8 or 8.5. I think for what it is, I enjoyed it.
Mhm.
Would I replay it in the future? No, because it already told its story
Yeah.
and I already got exactly what I needed from it. So yeah, that's just my honest opinion on that. I already saw 3 tomatoes get thrown. Have fun cleaning up your computer.
But yeah,
Um,
like the 10 out of 10 reviews, and one of our favorite silly journalists, Dean Takahashi, gave it a
I,
4.99 out of 5. It took off point zero 0.01 for the weird graphics, so I guess he doesn't like the animation on twos. But I feel like that's kind of ridiculous. Historically, if you don't know who Dean Takahashi is, he's the guy from the infamous Cuphead tutorial that he couldn't figure out how to jump over stuff at that live
yeah,
event. And he's also the guy that gave Mass Effect a really bad review because he didn't read anything and didn't know that you could go into the menu and level up your characters. but he loved Mixtape. He's like, the game's too hard. I don't like this. And then, but yeah, I feel like Mixtape was probably, you know what? He probably liked Mixtape because he could just walk through the game and it wasn't
Wait, I
hard.
thought he gave Mixtape a bad review.
No, he gave it a 4.99.
Oh, out of 5. I thought you meant out of 10.
Oh, no, out of 5. Yeah.
Okay,
He
well,
gave Mass Effect a bad review.
that's ridiculous.
Yeah,
Well,
one
I
of the
guess
most
yeah, I guess you
beloved
like
video
Mixtape.
game franchises of all time. But
Well,
yeah.
good to hear that we agree with Dean Takahashi of all people. It's not really helping my case here, but you know what?
Well, would you give it a
Um,
10 out of 10 though? Like,
no,
yeah, so you don't agree with him then.
true. The 4 point.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I guess
Yeah.
so.
Mhm.
Even then, that's just my thoughts on that. Again, we're seeing a lot of healthy comment sections regarding the game.
Mhm.
We just wanted to give our 2 cents. And again, I really love Annapurna as a publishing company. I really love what they put out. I like their games. I like their movies. So you guys always know me. Anything Annapurna, I'm interested in.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on that. We have anything else we wanted to kind of touch on? I know we talked a little bit earlier about the Mortal Kombat movie, but another movie that we're going to be seeing, which I didn't realize would be this October, is the Street Fighter movie.
Mhm.
And
That one I'm excited for.
yeah, I think they got a pretty cool cast going on for it. Cody Rhodes is playing Guile, which his hair just looks ridiculous, which is exactly what we need. I guess Eric Andre is playing the announcer. I didn't play Street Fighter 5, so I'm not familiar with the announcer.
Oh, I didn't hear you
Um,
earlier. Eric Andre? What?
Eric Andre is playing the announcer. Yes.
The comedian?
Yes.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
50 Cent is playing Balrog, which is okay. That'll be awesome.
Okay,
But,
the only thing I know about is Jason Momoa, pretty much.
yeah, he's playing Blanca. Or
Yeah.
no, Blanca? Yes.
Yeah,
Hold on. Let me
I think
double
so.
check. Jason Momoa Street Fighter. Let's see here. Yeah, he's playing Blanca.
Yeah.
Oh my god. This is the second time that Jason Momoa has played a character that comes from the sea.
I'm gonna be so confused because like Blanca isn't sexy, like I don't know. It's gonna be so weird, like to be like,
I
ooh,
think
Blanca, hello.
I think we're going to see a good one. It'll be fun to compare it to Mortal Kombat because I really liked how fun the Mortal Kombat movie came out. But this one's coming out in October, and I was thinking, wow, what a great Halloween movie! Because
Oh, maybe I'll
we have
go.
such
When in October? Do you know?
I believe it is October 16th. Let's
Oh,
see here.
I was gonna say maybe I can go for my birthday, but that's too late.
That is going to be October 16th,
Okay.
2026.
Nice.
You will be seeing the Street Fighter movie. I think that's a great opportunity for people to go to the movies, dress up as Street Fighter characters, but also be Street Fighter characters for Halloween. I think that's a perfect opportunity.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
I love me Halloween. I think Halloween's it is my favorite holiday, but also make it an event. Like go see Street Fighter on Halloween and go dressed up as your favorite Street Fighter character. I didn't realize it was going to be an October movie, and I'm actually really hyped that it is now. I thought it was going to be a summer movie, but no, actually make an October movie. But yeah, we're really in the year of we're getting both a Mortal Kombat movie and a Street Fighter movie.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Maybe the studios will get an idea to make them cross paths. I think that would be fantastic.
Oh.
Again, more of a fan service kind of thing. They don't need to do that, but it's still fun to see these movies in the theaters. Who knows what kind of popcorn buckets they might have? Who knows what kind of promotions they're going to have? All I know is that, hey, I'm going to be there. I'll go. I'm going to have a blast.
M. Bison's hat.
I like M. Bison.
Yeah.
Not wear his hat because it looks like a Nazi hat. Okay, but
oh yeah, that's.
I was gonna say though, yeah, but I think it'll be such an event. But that being said, shoot, maybe at the AMC theater they'll have like a M. Bison drink, an evil drink. It's probably just gonna be strawberry margarita, but I'm gonna buy it anyways. But, yeah.
Nice.
Do we have any other gaming news we wanted to share? Games, movies, anything?
I think there's a Fallout 4 update finally coming. The whenever the okay, so history here. So they had the PS5 update come out, I think I want to say like 2 years ago now, and they broke the game. So this is
Yeah.
back to the, Todd Howard thing. And then the anniversary update came out and they broke the game. They promised us a mod storage update. It never came. It kept getting delayed. It's finally coming next week. So May 27th. So if you have a Fallout 4 save, you need to go and save your mod loadout or your game is going to break. And if you don't know how to
Oof.
do that, head over to the Bethesda website and they'll tell you how. I think it's just an option. I don't think it's that hard, but yeah, so you need to do that. And there is a rumor that DLC sized mod so apparently it's King Ath Creations. So sorry, I'm gonna bore you, Steven, talking about
No, you're
Fallout
good.
mods. So King Ath is working, well, King Ath Creations is working on this big mod called Fever Dreams. They are the Sim Settlements people. They are the Sim Settlements people. So Sim Settlements 1 and 2, that was King Ath. So yeah, it's called Fever Dreams, and they actually got the original voice actors for Nate and Nora back to do some voice lines for it, which is awesome because usually they have to like repurpose lines from the game or have like awkward silence in text. So that's going to be amazing. It's going to be huge from what I hear. So yeah, that is very exciting. So I've got a reason to go back and play again, and they might be giving us the DLCs that they promised PlayStation owners didn't get. I wrote what is called, I think, the Beast Hunter, Legend of the Beast Hunter. We didn't get it because PlayStation is weird about mods not being able to use assets that weren't in the original game. But a lot of people think that the mod storage update might somehow get us those. So fingers crossed. I think PC, you're getting 100 gigabytes, and at least PlayStation is like 15 gigabytes. So that's very exciting for me. That's all.
Well, I
So
mean,
yeah,
adding content back to Fallout 4 sounds fun, and like even
yeah,
then they're getting the original voice actor, so that's nice.
yeah,
Hopefully, you guys get the updates that you've been needing, and
yeah. I
hopefully, it
hope
doesn't
so.
break your game.
Because they promised, and then all the PlayStation people are like, when are we getting it? And they're like, I don't know. And it's been like at least 6 months, I think. So yeah, that would be nice. I'm really enjoying that older games are getting new content. Like The Witcher 3 is going to get a new
Yeah,
expansion, and I love that. And maybe Cyberpunk after that. Because have you
I'm pretty sure they are. I heard something about that.
Yeah, so probably after The Witcher 3 expansion comes out, and it seems like it's going to be like bridging the gap between Witcher 3 and whatever the next Witcher, I think they're just calling it Witcher 4 for now. So yeah, that's really cool. The first game I ever saw that happen in was Borderlands 2. So like right before Borderlands 3 came out, they had like a huge DLC come out that was like gonna kind of lead into the next game. And I love that that's happening now. Like I know CD Projekt Red has been really good with adding stuff to Cyberpunk ever since it came out, but yeah, it's nice to see it from other developers for sure.
Yeah,
hmm It's nice that you can play a game for like 15 years and still have
yeah.
new stuff come out for it. But
I mean,
yeah,
that's Team Fortress 2 for me. I always love playing that game, and we always get new content.
which game?
Team Fortress 2.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry you cut out, so I wasn't sure. Yeah, is that the
The
one
game
that
came
you
out.
showed me one time?
Yeah, and the
Okay.
game came out 19 years ago, and we're still seeing active players, still seeing
Mhm.
updates, which is great. Thank you, Valve. Thank you, Gabe Newell.
Yeah.
There are a couple updates I realized that I wanted to share that I haven't touched on, if you
Oh,
don't mind.
yeah.
Speaking of Valve, the Steam controller is out. There is some really funny Easter eggs with it. If you drop the Steam controller 3 feet, it actually does the famous Wilhelm scream that you
Oh
hear in a
yeah.
lot of movies, like Star
That's
Wars, Indiana
amazing.
Jones.
Yeah.
That sounds like just someone at Valve had an idea. It's like,
Yeah.
what if we did this? And they're like, and Gabe Newell was like, just do it.
Yeah.
Just give. This is the first time our controllers can scream at us.
Yeah. That's just
I have one
charming.
of mine for that.
Yeah.
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 Apparently, there's some other Easter eggs that they're slowly learning about, but that's the most standout one for me. Somebody literally like grabbed it, dropped it onto the bed, and it actually screamed.
If you don't know that it's
Um,
supposed to do that, that must have been like really
that
freaky.
must that
Especially
must have
because
been
like
probably the greatest.
it's like, did I just hear that scream?
The
But yeah,
Wilhelm.
the Wilhelm. Sorry, yeah,
Yeah.
Wilhelm. But yeah,
Like
uh,
I props to anybody who found that by accident. That's got to be
mhm.
amazing. And we also are seeing a lot of games coming out. So, quick fantasy critic update. I'm actually getting points for
Yeah.
once. Lego Batman just came out, sitting at an 84 on Metacritic. Now,
Mhm.
I don't know if I will be necessarily picking up Lego Batman. I just know, hey, Lego games are always going to be good ones, and I'm really enjoying what I'm watching of Lego Batman. They are recreating a lot of scenes from classic Batman games, which obviously they're going to do. There's a lot of random Easter eggs to different things. Like for instance, Danny DeVito played the Penguin back in the '90s.
Mhm.
Danny DeVito is also in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and there's a famous line where he just says, "Well, I just got my guns, I just
Yeah.
started blasting,"
Yeah.
and then so in respects to that, Penguin literally says that in
Oh,
Lego Batman,
that's
and then
fun.
random other random like references that I just would not expect is if you've ever seen I Think You Should Leave, you there know that there's like that really funny 55 burgers, 55 everything sketch
Oh yeah.
where he's trying to do the pay it forward.
Yeah.
They actually referenced that in the game. And they said like, oh yeah, is there any food challenges here? Like, oh, if you eat 55 sandwiches, 55 burgers, we're gonna ask you to leave. And I'm just like,
Mhm.
what? So
I'm doing
Lego
a
Batman
thing.
is looking,
Yeah.
yeah. Lego
Uh,
Batman's looking to be really charming. I might pick it up. Honestly, it looks entertaining. It seems like a fun Batman game, and they never take themselves too seriously. But
mhm.
they recreate the intro of the Batman the animated series at the beginning of the game. They recreate
Oh.
yeah, which I thought was actually pretty cool. They recreate in the Matt Reeves Batman when he's chasing the Penguin and comes out of the fire and gets him. They recreate that, and like these nice, simple, fun, charming references.
Mhm.
I always know that this game is going to do good. It's sitting at 84. It could potentially go up now that more people are playing it, but that's what we're kind of seeing right now. So, hooray! I made 4 points, and I've been the one who's not making any points on all these games. So it's nice to have one victory. But when it comes to fantasy for this year, I'm not going to win. But hey, it is what it is.
You just
Um,
reminded me I picked Mixtape, so maybe I'm not annoyed that everybody's giving them 10 out of 10.
that's right.
Yeah.
What's Mixtape Metacritic? I forgot that you picked Mixtape. Metacritic right now is sitting at this is going to be 86.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So you got 6 points.
Thank you,
Two
Dean
above Lego Batman.
Takahashi.
Dean Takahashi. Um, But yeah, a couple other releases, not ones that I'll necessarily be playing, but are notable.
Mhm.
Yoshi and the Mysterious Book just came out.
That looks really cute.
Yeah, definitely for younger kids.
Mhm.
And so seems like a very safe buy. I mean, just like when you played like Yoshi's Story was kind of the same back in the
And like
N64. Sweet game.
Woolly World? Is that the other one
Holy
or
World,
something?
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. And then Forza is definitely turning a lot of heads. Now I won't be playing Forza.
Yeah, me neither.
I know it's on PC, but personally, I'm just like, if I want to play a racing game, I want to play it on the TV, sit at the living room couch. And I don't have an Xbox right now. I don't really plan on getting an Xbox, but Forza looks gorgeous, and it's a very good like arcade racer kind of game. And the one that got my attention is that you fight. You don't fight. You
Yeah,
race a
I just saw
Gundam.
that. Yeah, I watched the video the other day. It looks
I
crazy.
think that's fantastic. It
Yeah.
doesn't, it's just pure fun, is what it is. It's
Mhm.
just having fun, helping you have fun. Like you're racing a Gundam. Like, oh my goodness, what
Well, too,
a
because it takes place in Japan, right? So it makes sense, right? They have those there.
I guess. And
Yeah.
if you can knock down any tree in the game other than the cherry blossom tree
Oh.
because there's so much historic significance to the cherry blossoms.
Mhm.
Out of respect for the cherry blossom, if you try to slam your car into a cherry blossom, you're just going to slam your car and crash. Every other tree though, nah, screw those trees. But I still think that was kind of a nice detail to add. Like that was sweet. That was respectful.
Hmm.
But a lot of people are having fun with Forza right now. If you guys are playing it right now, let us know what you think in the comments. But yeah, a lot of notable releases as of recently. But yeah, other than that, do we have any other gaming news we wanted to share? Do we want to go into our show and tell?
I think that was everything. Sorry, for some reason I closed my page. Yeah, I think that's everything we wanted to talk about.
Okay.
Hmm.
Um, who's going first?
I think you should go first
Okay.
because it'll
So,
lead into mine.
good point. Good
Yeah.
point. Ours are pretty similar, covering some topics we talked about today. So,
Hmm.
uh, last week I went and ahead and saw the Mortal Kombat movie right after the podcast. But here's the thing: is that I was almost a week late to seeing the movie. The movie came out on a Thursday. When I'm not doing the podcast, I normally work during those days. I just had no time to really go see the movie other than right after the podcast last week. Now, that being said, there was a lot of Mortal Kombat popcorn buckets. Um, I was going to be surprised if there was any left, and I personally wanted the stand up arcade popcorn bucket. It's just
Yeah,
an
it was
arcade
cool.
cabinet. I feel like that one was the cheaper one, but also would have looked nice in my living room. So I waltzed in, and I was like, I know I'm late to the party, but is there any Mortal Kombat popcorn buckets left? And I look at the little popcorn selection, and the lady at the counter was amazing. She was very cool. She obviously liked this movie a lot. Um, she says, "No, they're all gone except for Shao Kahn." And I was like, "Hold on! If any of the buckets were going to be
Yeah.
gone right now, I would have thought it'd be Shao Kahn." But all they have is Shao Kahn. It's either get a Shao Kahn or don't get a popcorn bucket. Now, I am not the biggest fan of AMC's popcorn, but I do like their popcorn buckets. So that being said, this one kind of caught me off guard, but here is Shao Kahn, the helmet.
It
So it's a
looks
really
sick.
cool looking bucket, yeah. But what I didn't realize is I thought this was the bucket. I thought you. Well, I mean, I guess you can. I thought that this was the bucket itself. No, it is a two-part bucket. This is the actual bucket. So it's a tin bucket. It's got Shao Kahn on it, and then when you turn it around, you've got the Shao Kahn, like emblem and logo and all that. But there's also designs inside of the bucket itself. The bucket is lined. Let me see if I can shine a
Flawless
light.
victory.
Yes. See if I can shine a light on that. That's awkward. I look like I'm trying to sell scary stories in the dark. But no, so this is the actual popcorn bucket. It turns out that the helmet is actually the topper. Now, when we were rehearsing earlier today, this helmet fell off and scared the crap out of me, so I'm not going to try to do that. But yeah, that's the helmet itself. So it's just a nice living room decoration, kitchen decoration. But yeah, the helmet goes on top of that. Now, Glitch, if you could do me the biggest favor, is you guys already know I got the Yoshi popcorn bucket. So if you could go ahead and maybe put on what I did, I put the Shao Kahn helmet on top of the Yoshi popcorn bucket in my
Oh.
apartment. It now guards my snacks. So yes, those are my snacks. No touching my snacks for Yoshi Khan or Shao Yoshi will destroy you. But yeah, definitely, I didn't want to spend the full money on the Shao Kahn helmet, but hey, I couldn't make it in time. This is still the cooler helmet at the end of the day. And big year for popcorn helmets. Well, popcorn
Yeah.
buckets and helmets.
Well, the Mandalorian
Uh,
one. So
oh
kind
yeah.
of.
Ooh.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna have to see that one.
Show me the baby.
I would like to see the baby. Oh,
Uh,
but yeah, that's my show and tell. Yeah, so I'm gonna try my best to get popcorn buckets this year. But yeah, definitely a cooler one. It's a lot cooler than I thought. So
mhm.
I'm happy with the purchase. But yeah, and turning it over to you, Glitch, you have a similar
Yeah.
show and tell.
Mine's gonna be short, but it's related, sort of. So I went Street Fighter myself. So when Street Fighter 4 came out, they had these keychains for sale. So this is the Chun-Li one. And then I have Ken also. I also have a Dalsim somewhere, but I think I was using that one the most. So it's like in a purse from like 15 years ago or however long ago that was. So the cool thing about this, the batteries are dead now. I tried to find batteries, but they're like LR44s or something. So I didn't have any. But this actually works, and these are buttons, and you could practice the combos for the characters. And
Sick.
and it would actually, so it's got a little speaker here, and if you did the move correctly, they would like say the thing they say. So like yoga flame. So like Ken, which I got because my guitarist and singer from my band were obsessed with playing Ken and Ryu. And they would always Hadouken me, so I was like, I'm gonna out Ken them, or well, out Ryu them, and I'll choose Ken and I'll Hadouken and Shoryuken them right back. So pretty much, you do like a Hadouken, and then we go Hadouken whenever you did it correctly. So you could like, so I would like wait for the bus and like practice my moves, like in between band practices, and so that I could kick their butts. So yeah, these were really fun. I really wish I had the batteries in because it really adds to it. But yeah, like that it actually moves and the buttons work, and then it had like a little combo list and you could practice it, and you knew you did it right because it would say Hadouken. So yeah,
Nice.
imported
That's
from
actually really
Japan.
sick.
Yeah. So maybe one day if I ever get the batteries, I'll do it on the podcast. Maybe
I
when
was playing
Street Fighter
Street
comes
Fighter
out.
4 when it came out. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
I was
last
playing
one
it
I
when it came
cared
out. I just
about.
never. Yeah.
Yeah, I was a Street Fighter kid. Well, really, I'm all about the Street Fighter 2 Turbo. And then they did like an
Yes.
HD re-release of it, which I played the shit out of. I think I still have it on my PlayStation. I should download that again. But yeah, Street Fighter 4 was good. Street Fighter 5 I wasn't really interested in because it looked really similar, and I was like, I could just play a Street Fighter 4. But yeah, I used to be really into the fighting games. My band, when we would like take breaks, we'd play like what is it, King of Fighters or something, and
Yeah. Yeah.
or Marvel versus Capcom or Street Fighter. Like we played so many fighting games, but yeah, I had to beat the boys, and I got these to practice because they would get mad at
Nice.
me when I play, because Cammy and Chun Li were my characters, and then they'd be like, "You can't play them." I'm like, "Well, they're all I play, so I got these to practice." So yeah, and I didn't tell them, and then they were like, "Wow,
I
you're
would have
so good
loved
all of a
that.
sudden." So yeah.
Yeah. It's such a cool concept, too, to like, just kind of practice on your own and then it
Yeah,
actually just
yeah,
says
yeah.
the
And then
name when you get it.
kick their butts. But yeah, it actually worked pretty well. Like it was pretty accurate, so I was very happy with my purchase. So yeah,
Well, I think everyone liked that.
I know I
That's
did.
actually pretty sick.
Yeah. Hmm.
All right.
Um.
I think that kind of wraps up for today. There's a lot of content to cover.
Hmm.
We had some really cool show and tells. I think that kind of wraps that up. Is there anything else we might have missed, Glitch?
I think that's everything. So yeah.
Everything?
Hmm.
All right. Well, if you don't mind,
I have to go to Netherrealm now, and I'm gonna find Scorpion himself, and I'm gonna kick his ass.
It always freaks me out
bye,
when you do
everybody.
that. Bye. Wow.